Ray was alone again. It was his 5th night on patrol, and the sky above the ruined moon base was empty and quiet. Stars blinked like cold eyes watching him from far away. The ground was broken, dry, and dead. He hated this place. But he had a job to do. Ray was a human soldier stationed at an old border post that was no longer needed. The war had ended months ago. Still, someone had to watch. Someone had to make sure no enemy came back. This time, it was Ray's turn. He walked slowly between the damaged walls and broken towers of the base. His boots crunched on the gravel. The only sound he heard was his own breathing. Then he heard something else. It was soft at first, a sound like wind or maybe a whisper. He stopped. He listened again. The sound came again, closer now. Strange sound, not a machine, not an animal, almost like someone crying. Ray's heart beat faster. He turned on his scanner, but it showed nothing. No life forms, no energy spikes. Still, he followed the sound. He moved toward the sound carefully, hand near his weapon. But then something bright fell from the sky, a flash of silver light. It crashed behind the hill, just outside the base. Ray ran. He reached the crash site and stopped in shock. There, lying in a small crater of dust and smoke, was a girl. Not human, she was glowing faintly. Her skin was a soft purple, and parts of her arms had scales. Her long silver hair was covered in dust. One of her legs was bleeding thick, glowing blue blood. A wing, or what looked like one, was torn and twitching. She looked up at him. Her eyes were large, bright, and afraid. She tried to crawl away. "Wait," Ray said. "I won't hurt you." The alien girl shook her head. "Wait." She mumbled something in a language he didn't know. Then she coughed, and more of her glowing blood spilled onto the ground. Ray's training told him to leave her. She might be dangerous. She might be a trap, but something inside him said no. He slowly stepped closer and knelt beside her. "It's okay," he said gently. "I want to help you." She looked at him again, her body weak. She didn't move this time. Ray took off his backpack. Inside, he had a med kit. It wasn't made for aliens, but he had learned a little during the war. He cleaned her wound, wrapped it tightly, and sealed it with a medical spray. As he touched her leg, her skin glowed brighter. A soft hum filled the air. Then suddenly, her chest lit up with a glowing symbol, a strange golden mark that looked like a star with curved edges. Ray backed away. The alien girl gasped and looked at her chest. Then at him. She whispered something again, but this time the translator on Ray's wrist picked it up. "You helped me. You touched the wound. You accepted the bond." Ray frowned. What bond?" But the girl didn't answer. She was too weak and fell unconscious. Ray looked around. The area was still clear. No one was watching. He picked her up carefully. "I'll take you somewhere safe," he said quietly. But just as he turned, he felt something eyes watching him. Behind him, in the shadows, 3 more figures stepped out. All girls. All not human. They were taller than the injured one, dressed in strange armor, and each had glowing eyes like stars. One had blades on her arms. One had long black hair that moved like smoke. The third looked calm, quiet, and powerful. They said nothing. Ray froze. The one with the smoke hair looked at the girl in his arms, then at him. "You healed our sister," she said in a low voice. Ray nodded slowly. "Yes, she was hurt. I just helped her." "You touched her wound," the quiet one said. "You started the bond." Ray didn't understand. "Bond? What bond?" "Oh, I was just trying to save her life." The one with blades stepped forward. Her eyes were sharp. "In our world, that act is not small. You healed a royal Now you are claimed. Ray blinked. Claimed. The girl in his arms opened her eyes slowly. She whispered again. The translator read her words. You are mine now, and mine are yours. The sisters stepped closer. Ray looked around, heart racing. What the hell did I just get myself into? He whispered. Ray sat on the floor of the alien ship, staring at the strange metal walls around him. Everything glowed. Softly blue lines moved like rivers across the floor and ceiling. He could hear a low hum, like the heartbeat of the ship. He still couldn't believe this was real. He had just wanted to help someone in need. He never expected this. The alien girl he had saved, Larula, on a small bed made of floating crystal. Her wound was healing fast now. The strange liquid he used must have worked better than he thought. But Ray wasn't alone. The 3 other girls, Lyra's sisters, stood around him like guards. Each one looked at him differently. The tall one with smoke-like hair, named Ava, watched him with cold, sharp eyes. The one with blades on her arms, Syra, didn't seem to trust him. The third one, calm and quiet, was Vexa, who seemed to be the oldest. Ray took a deep breath. I think there's been a mistake, he said slowly. I just helped her, that's all. I didn't mean to do whatever this bond thing is. Vexa stepped forward. Her voice was calm but firm. You touched her wound. You took her pain. You accepted her blood. That is not a small thing. Ray stood up. She was dying. I wasn't trying to bond with her. I was trying to save her life. Ava narrowed her eyes. On our world, saving a royal is more than kindness. It's a promise, a sacred act. Syra crossed her arms. Right. You are bonded now, whether you like it or not. Ray shook his head. I didn't agree to anything. I'm human. This isn't how our world works. Vexa tilted her head. You may be human, but the bond is already made. Lyra chose you. He looked over at Lyra. She was awake now, her bright eyes watching him. She sat up slowly. Her voice was soft. I did not choose with my mind. I chose with my soul. You touched my pain and took it inside you. Ray took a step back. Huh? I don't understand any of this. What happens now? Lyra looked down at her hands. Now you are mine, and by blood. That means you are also theirs. What? Ray's eyes widened. All 3 of you. Syra let out a sharp laugh. In our family, when one royal bonds, the others are connected too. It's ancient law. I didn't ask for this. Ray snapped. Ava moved closer, her eyes glowing. Do you wish to reject the bond? That would mean leaving her and leaving us. And on some planets, rejecting a royal bond is a crime. Ray felt dizzy. This had gone too far, too fast. I don't want to reject anyone. I just want to understand. Vex nodded. Then listen. Lyra carries something important inside her. A code, a message from our mother, the last queen. It cannot be unlocked unless she bonds with someone pure. Someone outside our bloodline. Lyra looked into Ray's eyes. Your touch woke the code. It's only the beginning. Ray frowned. That's how you used me. No, Lyra said quickly. I didn't know it would happen, but now that it has. You're a part of it. Zyra stepped forward. We were being hunted. That's why we came to this system, to hide her. But when she fell, you found her. That wasn't a mistake. That was fate. Ray sat back down, his head spinning. So I'm stuck here. Vexa looked at him kindly. You're not a prisoner, but if you leave, others will find you. The bond mark is on your chest now. The enemy can track it. Ray pulled down his collar. He hadn't noticed before, but there it was, a faint, glowing symbol, just like the one that appeared on Lyra's chest. You mean I'm in danger? Ava nodded. Yes, you are now a part of our family, okay? And our enemies will come for you. Ray looked at all of them. So, what do we do? Zyra's eyes burned with fire. We fight. Lyra reached out and took his hand. But first, we run. Suddenly, alarms blared inside the ship. Red lights flashed. Vexa touched a crystal panel and looked at the screen. They've found us. A Draken scout ship is approaching. Ray stood up, his hands shaking. Draken, the ones who killed our mother, Lyra said. The ones who want the memory code. And now they want you to, Ava said. The ship started to shake as engines roared. The sisters took their positions, Siva at the controls, Zyra at the weapons, Vexa managing shields. Ray looked out the window in the distance. A dark ship with red lights flew fast toward them. They're coming, he whispered. Lyra stood beside him. Then stay close, because from this moment, your life is no longer just your own. The alien ship shook as red warning lights flashed across the ceiling. The engines roared loudly, and Ray could feel the floor vibrating beneath his feet. He grabbed a rail to stay on his feet. What's happening? He shouted. Ava, sitting in the pilot seat, spoke quickly. They've locked onto us. One Draken scout ship, small and deadly. Ray looked through the window. A dark red ship with sharp wings was closing in. It looked like a predator, and they were the prey. Cyrus stood at the weapon controls. They're not here to ask questions. They want Lyra dead. Ray turned to her. Why? What did she do? Vexa replied without turning around. It's not what she did. It's what she holds. Ray remembered what they said earlier. The memory code inside Lyra. Something from her mother, the last queen. She has a message inside her, right? Ray asked. Vexa nodded. Yes, a memory passed down only through the royal bloodline. It is hidden deep, sleeping inside her. But now, because of you, it's waking up. Ray's chest tightened. Because of me? Lyra walked up beside him. Her eyes glowed faintly. When you touched me, the code responded. The old bond was created. That bond allows the memory to unlock. Ray frowned. So the Drakons want to stop that memory. Cyrus smirked. No, they want to erase it. Forever. A blast rocked the ship. Everyone stumbled as sparks flew from a panel. They hit the rear engine. Ava shouted, "Shields are dropping." Ray's heart raced. What do we do? We fight back, Zyra said, her fingers dancing over the weapon panel. And we run. The ship turned sharply. Outside, the enemy ship fired again, but this time they missed. Zyra launched 2 energy blasts from their ship. One hit the dragon ship's wing. It spun slightly, but kept coming. They're strong, Ava said. Too strong for us alone. Ray looked at the glowing mark on his chest. He didn't understand all of this, but he knew one thing. This enemy didn't want to capture anyone. They wanted to destroy. Another explosion rocked the ship. Lyra grabbed Ray's hand. Come with me. She pulled him toward a small chamber behind the control room. Inside was a strange, round chair with glowing lights. Lyra pointed to it. Sit. Ray hesitated. What is this? It's the memory core, she said. Your bond allows you to help me unlock it. I don't know how. You don't need to. Just trust me. Ray sat in the chair. The moment he did, the lights on the walls grew brighter. The symbol on his chest began to glow, and the same symbol appeared on Lyra's forehead. Suddenly, images filled the room like a dream coming alive. Ray saw a tall alien queen standing before a great army. Her voice echoed through the air. If the memory is lost, our people are lost. Dan, another image Lyra as a child, hiding while fire burned the palace around her. She clutched a small, glowing crystal to her chest. Then darkness. Ray opened his eyes. T was back in the ship. Lyra looked at him, tears in her eyes. You saw it. You felt it. Ray nodded. Your mother left a message. For you. For your people. Voice came over the speaker. We're going down. The ship can't hold. Ray and Lyra rushed back to the main deck. Ava struggled to keep the ship steady. The planet below them was green and full of storms. Zyra looked at Ray. "We can land, but it'll be rough." "Do it," Lyra said. "We can't lead them to the memory gate." Ray blinked. "Memory gate? There's a place on this planet," Vexa explained quickly. "A hidden temple. That's where the full memory will unlock." "Then let's get there," Ray said. The ship shook violently as it entered the planet's atmosphere. Fire burned along the sides of the hall. The girls held their positions like warriors. Ray held onto Lyra's arm. The ship crashed through the trees, smashing into the ground with a loud boom. Everything went black for a moment. When Ray opened his eyes, the ship was tilted on one side. Smoke filled the air. Sparks flew from broken wires. "Is everyone okay?" he shouted. "I'm alive," Ava said, coughing. "Still breathing," Zyra replied. "Here," Vexa said, helping Lyra stand. Lyra smiled weakly. "We made it." Ray stood up slowly. His leg hurt, but nothing was broken. Then he heard something outside, heavy footsteps. Zyra looked at the scanner. Her face turned cold. "They followed us. The Draken hunters are here." Ray's hand clenched. "They want the memory code." Zyra nodded. "Then we'll protect it with everything we have." Lyra looked at Ray with deep, glowing eyes. "You didn't ask for this, but now you're the only one who can finish what my mother started." Ray looked at her hand for the first time. He didn't feel like just a soldier. He felt like someone important. The air was heavy with smoke. Pieces of the broken ship lay scattered across the green forest floor. Birds had flown away, and silence filled the space around the crash. Only the sound of fire crackling from the ship's engines could be heard. Ray stood next to Lyra, breathing hard. His clothes were torn, and dirt covered his face. But he was alive. So were the others. Zyra had her weapon drawn, eyes scanning the trees. Ava worked quickly to shut off a damaged power core. Vexa, calm as always, touched the glowing surface of a small, round device. It showed a map of the area. "We landed close to the temple," Vexa said. "It's hidden in the jungle. If we move now, we can reach it before the dragons do." Zyra grunted. "Hey there. Fast and angry." "We're faster," Ava replied, brushing dust off her armor. Ray looked at the three sisters. They were so different from each other, but there was something powerful about them. Each had a different strength. And somehow, all three had bonded. With him, it still didn't make sense. He turned to Lyra. "I thought I was just helping you. But now, I'm what? Part of your family?" Lyra smiled gently. "Not just family. You're connected to all of us now. The bond is real. It runs through our blood. And now, through yours." Ray looked down at the glowing mark on his chest. It pulsed faintly. "I didn't choose this." "No," Lyra said. "But neither did we. The bond chose us all." Vexa walked over to them. "The bond is old, Ray. It connects life to life, emotion to emotion. You saved Lyra. That was the first thread. But now your heart is tied to ours." Zyra crossed her arms. "And we don't all agree with it." Ray looked at her. "You don't trust me? I trust you as a soldier," Zyra said. "You saved Lyra. You fought beside us. But trust takes time. And bonds are dangerous if the heart is not ready." Stepped forward. "Still, the bond is here, whether we like it or not. So we must move as one." Ray nodded slowly. "'Kay, I'll do my part. I'm with you." The sisters looked at each other. "'Kay." Then they began to move. They left the wrecked ship behind and entered the thick jungle. Tall trees blocked the sun. Strange animals moved in the branches above. The air was hot and wet. Vexa led the way, her map device glowing softly. Lyra stayed close to Ray, her steps light. Zyra moved behind them, always watching. Ava kept scanning the trees with her tech-eye. After an hour of walking, they reached a clearing. In the center stood a large stone gate covered in moss and vines. Symbols were carved deep into the stone, glowing faint blue. "This is it," Vexa said. "The memory gate." Ray stepped closer. The symbols on the gate began to glow brighter. Lyra placed her hand on the gate. "Only those of royal blood may enter, but the bond allows you through." Ray looked at the gate. "What's inside?" Lyra looked at him. "Answers, truth, and danger." Suddenly, the ground shook. "See?" Ray turned. "They're here." A red blast flew past them, hitting a tree. The Draken soldiers were closing in, tall, dark-armored figures with glowing red eyes and sharp weapons. "Get inside," Ava shouted. Lyra grabbed Ray's hand and pulled him toward the gate. Vexa touched a glowing stone, and the gate opened. Slowly, with a loud rumble, they rushed inside just as another blast hit the ground behind them. Inside, the temple was quiet. The air was cool. Soft blue lights glowed from the walls. Strange statues lined the path ahead. Ray looked around. "Where are we?" Lyra answered. "This is where my mother hid the full memory. We must unlock it together, okay?" They walked forward into a round room. Key in the center floated a glowing crystal dot. Ray stepped forward. The mark on his chest glowed stronger. Key crystal responded, spinning slowly and showing images in the air. The queen appeared, Lyra's mother. Her voice echoed through the room. "To the one who bonds with my daughter, I give this message. Our people are dying. The war must end. The truth must rise. Only with unity can peace be born." Ray watched, stunned. He felt something inside him. Not fear, not confusion, but purpose. Syra looked at him with new eyes. "Maybe the bond isn't a curse." Ava smiled slightly. "Maybe it's a gift." Lyra stepped beside Ray. "Together we can finish what my mother started." Ray took a deep breath. He looked at each sister: Riva, Vexa, Siren, finally Lyra. "I'm ready," he said. "Let's finish this." The glowing crystal slowly dimmed as the message from the alien queen ended. Silence filled the temple. Ray stood quietly, still trying to understand everything. He had just seen the truth. Lyra's mother, the last queen, had hidden a powerful message here, a message of peace and warning. Ray turned to Lyra. "That was meant for me." Lyra nodded. "Yes, the queen knew one day someone would bond with me. She left a message for you and now, for all of us." Syra paced across the room, her eyes sharp. "Now the Drakens know we're here. They'll try to stop us. We can't stay long." Ava agreed. "We need to move quickly. If they get the memory crystal, they'll erase everything." Ray looked around the room. Something felt wrong. His chest tightened. Not just fear, something else. A strange feeling deep inside. Vexa stepped forward, studying a side panel on the wall. "There's a second door here. It leads to a hidden path out of the temple." Ray watched her. "Okay." The others gathered their weapons. Tyra stayed back, watching. Vexa, with careful eyes. "Why didn't you tell us about the second path before?" Zira asked suddenly. Vexa turned, calm as ever. "I just saw the symbol. It opened after the memory activated." Syra didn't look convinced. She walked slowly toward her sister. "You've always known more than you said. Always calm, always planning." Vexa frowned. "What are you saying?" Ray felt the tension rise. Ava stepped between them. "Syra, now is not the time." "No," Syra said, eyes locked on Vexa. "Now is exactly the time." Lyra looked worried. "Going on?" Syra pointed at Vexa. "She's the one who's been giving the enemy our location. She sent a signal before we crashed. That's how the Drakens found us so fast." Vexa's eyes turned cold. "You're wrong. I saw the pulse," Zyra growled. "A silent signal sent right before we dropped from orbit." Ray's heart raced. "Vexa, is that true?" Vexa looked at all of them. Her face was calm, but her eyes were heavy. "I didn't betray you," she said quietly. "I made a deal." "A deal?" Ava snapped. "With our enemy." Vexa raised her hand. "I told them where we were going, in exchange for safe passage." Zyra stepped closer. "Safe for who?" Vexa looked at Lyra. "For her. The Drakens promised to leave Lyra alive if we handed over the crystal." Lyra gasped. "You were going to give them the memory." "I was trying to protect you," Vexa said. "We've lost too much. I couldn't want you died too." Ray stepped in. "But the crystal holds the last hope for your people. You were going to give it away." "I didn't plan to," Vexa whispered. "I just wanted a way out. I didn't know you'd unlock it, or that it would matter this much." Zyra's hand moved to her weapon. "You don't deserve to call yourself our sister." Vexa didn't move. She just stood there, quiet. Ava looked between them. "What do we do now?" Ray stepped forward. "We can't waste time fighting each other. The Drakens are coming. We need to move. We can talk about trust later." Lyra nodded. "That's right. We still have the crystal. We still have each other." Zyra looked away, her jaw tight. Vexa spoke again, her voice steady. "Let me make it right." Zyra laughed coldly. "How? By leading them to us again?" "No," Vexa said. "By staying behind. I'll draw them away while you escape with the crystal." Lyra stepped forward. "Vexa, no. You're still our sister." Vexa smiled softly. "You still believe that? After everything?" Lyra touched her hand. "Yes, I do." Ray looked at Vexa. "You don't have to die to prove your loyalty. Stay with us. Fight with us." But Vexa shook her head. "I have to fix my mistake. If I don't, they'll keep hunting you. Let me be the one they chase." For a moment, no one spoke. Then Ava nodded. "If this is your choice, we won't stop you." Zyra looked away, saying nothing. Vexa handed the crystal to Lyra. "Protect it. Share the truth. Change our future." Then she turned and walked back down the temple hall. Alone, Ray watched her disappear into the shadows. Will she survive? Cyra answered softly. "She's strong. But the Drakens don't forgive betrayal. She knows that." Lyra held the crystal tightly. "Let's go. We can't waste her sacrifice." Tay turned and moved through the hidden door. The jungle waited behind them. A faint light flashed in the distance of Vex's signal to draw the enemy. Ray walked forward. The weight of the bond, the memory, and the choice pressing on his shoulders. The battle wasn't over yet, but now he was no longer just a helper. He was part of the fight. Ray pushed aside thick jungle vines as he followed Lyra and her sisters through the hidden path. The air was hot, heavy, and full of strange insect sounds. His body ached from the crash and the long walk, but his mind was racing with questions. Vexa had stayed behind to distract the enemy. She had betrayed them, but she also gave them a second chance. Ray still wasn't sure how to feel about her. He only hoped she would survive. "Are we close?" he asked, wiping sweat from his forehead. Lyra nodded. "The place we seek is just ahead. It's where the first queen left her final memory." Ray looked at the glowing crystal in her hands. It pulsed gently, as if alive. Zyra walked beside him, silent. She hadn't said much since Vexa left. Her eyes were sharp, her weapon ready. Ava, walking ahead, scanned the trees with her Takai. Finally, Kay reached a clearing. In the middle stood a stone circle surrounded by tall pillars. Blue symbols glowed along the edges. The air here was cool, even peaceful. "This is it," Lyra said. "The memory ring." Ray stepped into the circle, feeling the ground shift slightly beneath his boots. The crystal in Lyra's hand floated into the air, spinning faster and faster. Suddenly, a beam of light shot up from the center of the circle. A figure appeared, tall, graceful, wearing a long cloak that shimmered like the stars. It was the first queen. Her voice echoed in the air, calm and powerful, to the one who carries the bond. Welcome. You have come far. You are the key. Ray stood still, breath held. The queen's eyes looked straight into his. I was the first to bond with a human, she continued. Long ago, when our worlds were still unknown to each other. Image changed. Now they saw her younger, walking beside a human warrior. They stood together before a battlefield filled with fire. Our people were at war, she said, but the bond brought peace. My human gave his life to protect us. In return, I sealed this memory so only one like him could unlock it again. Pray. Watch the memory unfold. The human warrior stood against an army of machines. He smiled one last time at the queen before charging forward into battle. Ray's heart ached. He died for her. Lyra nodded. It's our history, one we were. Never allowed to speak of. The Drakens erased every trace of it. The queen's voice returned. If you see this, the bond lives again. The war still burns, but you can choose another path. The power of the bond is not just strength, it is understanding. The image shifted once more. This time, it showed a star map. A hidden location pulsed in the corner of the galaxy. This is the heart of our past, the queen said. It's a place where peace can begin again. But only if you're willing to finish what I started. The memory faded. The light disappeared. The crystal fell gently into Lyra's hands. Again, silence. Ray stepped back, feeling something stir inside his chest. The mark on his skin glowed brighter than ever. She was talking to me, he whispered. Like, really talking to me? Yes, Lyra said. She saw you before you were born. She trusted you. Zyra finally spoke. Then it's clear. We go to the location she showed us. Ava nodded. That's where the answer is. That's where this ends. Ray looked around at the sisters, but we're still being hunted. Vexa can't hold them off forever. Me. Don't have forever, Lyra said, but we have now. They left the memory ring and moved quickly through the jungle. The star map burned bright in Lyra's mind. She guided them toward a nearby hill where a small, ancient ship was buried beneath the vines. It was their escape. As they climbed into the ship, sound echoed in the distant blaster fire. Ava looked back. They're close. Zyra helped. Power up the ship. Let them come. We're done running. Ray sat beside Lyra as the ship rose into the sky. You okay? He asked. She looked at him and smiled softly. I'm with you. Yes, I'm okay. The ship broke through the trees and into the clouds. Stars opened up before them, like a road. Ray looked out the window, thinking of the first queen, the warrior who died for peace. Vexa, still down there, buying them time. I won't waste his chance, he said to himself. The bond wasn't just a strange connection anymore. It was a promise, and Ray was ready to keep it. The stars stretched across the sky like a sea of diamonds. Ray sat quietly in the old alien ship, staring through the window as planets and moons passed by. The journey through space had been quiet, but his mind was not. Beside him, Lyra rested, her head leaning against the seat. Ava sat at the front, flying the ship, her eyes focused. Zyra checked the weapons again and again. No one spoke much. They were all thinking about the same thing. The final location, the place, the first. Queen had shown them in the memory ring. It was marked deep in the edge of the galaxy, on a dark moon called Elaris, a forgotten place where, according to the Queen, the last hope was hidden, and something else waited there too. A weapon, not a normal one, not made of metal or fire, but something different. Something living, A weapon with a human heart, Ray whispered. Lyra opened her eyes. You remember the Queen's words? Ray nodded. Yes, she said. The final piece was sleeping there. Something that could end the war. Zyra joined them. Or something that could destroy us all. Ava didn't turn. We'll reach Illyries in 5 minutes. I'll land near the old ruins. Ray stood up. Let's finish this. The moon, Ilaris, was quiet and dark. The sky above it was purple, and the ground was cracked like broken glass. Strange blue stones glowed softly from beneath. The surface, the sisters and Ray walked toward the ruined tall towers, fallen into the dust. A large gate stood open ahead, and inside it was silence. They stepped into a wide chamber, and in the center of the room was a pod, silver, floating, alive. Lights ran across its surface. Temples glowed around it. And in the center window, a shape floated, part machine, part something else, human. And not Ray stepped forward. His chest mark began to glow. The pod responded. It's reacting to him, Ava said. Lyra nodded. This is what the Queen hid. Zyra raised her weapon. Okay, and this is what the Drakens want to destroy. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the pod. Not a machine voice, a soft one. Name, Ray Bond, recognized. Activating Soul Protocol. Ray backed up. What is this? The pod opened. A bright light burst out and from it. A figure rose. He looked like a young man. Tall, silver-skinned, glowing blue veins. His eyes were human. His voice, calm. I am the last guardian. The Queen's final gift. I was made with human DNA and royal blood. Ray stepped closer. You're the weapon. The guardian nodded. Yes, but I am also a voice. A memory. A choice. Lyra asked, what choice? The guardian looked at all of them. To finish the war, I must be connected to the bondholder. Only he can unlock my full power. But once I awaken, I cannot stop. I was designed to destroy every enemy. Ray's heart raced. So, if I connect with you, you'll fight the Drakens. Yes, the guardian said. But I will also lose myself. My soul will fade, and your bond will break. Everyone froze. Lyra took a step back. You'll die. Ray nodded slowly. And the bond between us will end. The guardian said nothing. The answer was clear. Ava looked at Ray. It's your choice. Zyra looked away. Don't do it. We'll find another way. Ray looked at Lyra. Her eyes were full of pain. I don't want to lose you, she said. Ray looked at the guardian. Then at the stars above, through a crack in the roof. If I do nothing, more people will die. If I awaken him, he might have peace. He turned back to Lyra. I didn't ask for the bond, but it gave me something real. He made me part of something bigger. He stepped forward and placed his hand on the guardian's chest. The glow exploded. Energy rushed through the room. The guardian's eyes shone like suns. Bond accepted. Target locked. Beginning final defense. Outside, the Draken ships arrived. Hundreds of them. Soldiers poured down onto the moon's surface. But the guardian was awake now. He flew into the sky like lightning. His body turned into light and sound. One by one, the enemy ships exploded. The Draken forces screamed, but none could stop him. Dre collapsed to his knees. A bond mark on his chest faded slowly. Lyra caught him. Ray. He smiled weakly. It's okay. Saw everything. The memory, the Queen, the bond. It's all inside me now. Zyra and Ava ran to him. The battle above ended quickly. The sky grew quiet again. The war was over. Ray closed his eyes, and Lyra held his hand. You gave us peace, she whispered. You gave us a future. Ray's voice was soft. And you gave me something worth fighting for.